So finally, after weeks of bugging the devs, we got the announcement trailer. September 3rd is when SpellBreak is going live, and you get your first look at some of the action in the game, along with some in-game mechanics. Now, SpellBreak is a battle royale that pits you against other players, all wielding different types of magic. You have your choice from 6 different gauntlets. You drop into a map with other nerds, and then you loot. You find the other nerds, and then you send them back to the lobby until you're the last one standing. There's 6 different gauntlets. You got Conduit, which is your lightning. Pyromancer, which is your fire. Tempest, which is your wind. Frostborn, which is your ice. Toxicologist, which is your toxin. And Stone Shaper, which is your earth. The gauntlets are here in the practice range. The runes are back here. And the belts, omelets, and boots are over there. Now they do ascend in rarity from white to gold. White being the weakest and gold being the strongest. So we're going to start off with Pyromancer. Now, Combust is going to be your first ability upon leveling up. Your Paper Fireball hits for 25 and does 4 burn damage for 2 seconds. And it doesn't have damage drop off. Your secondary, the Flame Wall, causes a burn effect that does 6 to 11 damage depending on how long they stay in the wall. Upon leveling up, you'll get Firefly. And Firefly makes you immune to your own firewalls and gives you the ability to fly for 2 seconds. It gives you a lot of mobility and may help you in a tricky situation. You never really know. But damn it, it's fun. Alright, next you got Pyrolysis. And I'm probably saying that wrong, but it increases the damage of your flame walls for 2 seconds. Conflagration causes your fireball to split off into 4 different fireballs that do 10 splash damage. Alright, the green one hits for 30. The blue one hits for 34. The pink one hits for 36. And the gold one hits for 38. Alright, on to Conduit. Conduit, the more you hit, the higher damage you do with the shot. At max range, it hits for 6. Getting up close in their face, it hits for 8 on white. Green is pretty much the same, except it hits for 10 up close. Now, blue is where you start getting the higher damage. It hits for 8 at a distance and then up to 12 up close. Purple, you can hit for 8 at max. And gold, you hit for 9 at max range and 12 up close. There'll be a little picture at the end to give you a better idea of the variation in the damages. Overlord, when you level up, you get your +1 ruin charge. So you can use a ruin and then get the charge immediately back, or you can have 2 extra charges on your ruin. Next is Frostborn. Now, this one's kind of like the sniper of the group. You got Frozen Clarity, it allows you to skate on your ice. Paper hits for 45 fully charged. And that's Frozen to Clarity. The Ice Lance also allows you to hover in the air for a few seconds and it highlights your enemies. Now, Ice Prism, when you can overcharge your bow to do more damage. That little shiny thing was the bow overcharged, and it hits for 60 at paper. Alright, on to green. 55. Blue. I accidentally overcharged it, so this is incorrect damage. 85 fully charged with overcharge. Purple is not 89 with overcharge. And gold is 97 with overcharge. Alright, on to Toxicologist. Alright, Toxicologist is like the shotgun of the group. It spreads out and it arcs. It's kind of hard to hit, but it does do heavy damage up close. Your secondary is a cloud. That will hurt you if you walk into it without the correct talent. Alright, the arc does make it harder to hit enemies at range. The puddles cause a toxic effect which damages your opponent over time. The more pellets you hit, the more damage you do. The puddles also cause a slow effect, which makes it harder for your enemies to get away. Now, your toxic clouds don't do anything special other than cause poison damage, but if you hit it with a fire gauntlet, it causes what's called dragon fire, and it does a lot more damage per second. Next is Vanishing Mist. Vanishing Mist makes you immune to your toxic clouds, and it gives you a dash upon entering your clouds, as well as invisibility for 2 seconds. Now it's directional, you can go any which way. Next is Outbreak. While you're invisible, you get plus 75 toxic splash damage. So when you do your primary attack and you're invisible, it does more damage. Spreading Sickness, you get 2 extra clouds. It's pretty self-explanatory. Can be useful, can also kind of throw you off a little bit. Alright, now the Green Gauntlet hits for 36 up close. The Blue Gauntlet hits for 41 up close. The Purple Gauntlet hits for 43 up close. And gold 46. Alright, on to Stone Shaper. Stone Skin. You start off with 20 armor after you smash the ground a bit. You get plus 5 armor, up to 20 armor every time after that. Alright, Bedrock. When you jump up in the air and you cast Shockwave, you crash to the ground, so you get down quicker and you can cast the spell sooner. Accretion. The further your boulder goes, the bigger the boulder gets, and the more damage it does. It can hit anywhere between 20 and 50 damage, depending on how far it goes and how big it gets. Avalanche gives you an extra boulder charge, so you can throw 2 boulders back to back. The Paper Gauntlet or White Gauntlet hits for 30, and it doesn't matter how far away you are. If you hit for 30 with the Shockwave. Elevation is your worst enemy as a Stone Shaper. You have to be on a level playing ground to hit your opponents. Alright, on to green. Green hits for 39. Blue hits for 42. Purple hits for 44. And gold hits for 45. Alright, now last but not least is Tempest. Wind Surge. When you aim at the ground and you shoot, you get a wind jump. And you can also use it to shoot off of walls and stuff, and it is directional. Updraft. Makes you immune to your own tornado pool. Usually you are not immune to your own tornado pool. It draws enemies in, and you can jump on top of it. Or it launches its user into the air. Squall, the longer you're in the air, the more damage you do. If you're in the air more than 1 second, you get plus damage for your spell casting, and you also get a decrease on your mana consumption. It's kind of like an SMG, and tracking is your most important friend. Sudden Gust, in air, your sorcery cooldown speed is decreased by 100%. So you can cast more spells while you're in the air. The longer you're in the air, the more you can cast. Alright, green, 3 at range. Up to 9. Blue hits for 10 up close. And 6 or 7 at range. Purple at range hits for 4. Up close hits for 11. And the damage stacks just like lightning. Alright, gold at range hits for 4. And up close hits for 12. But the damage stacks a lot quicker. Alright, that was a quick look at SpellBreak. There's obviously much more to go over, and I didn't have the footage to go over it. But starting September 3rd, I'm going to be playing it. It's going to be free to play on all the major consoles, everything except mobile. Unfortunately, they haven't crossed it over yet. You can play on the Rainway app, but you have to be running it off of a computer to do that. If you enjoyed the content, or you stuck around, this is my first time ever trying to dub over a video I made, so I'd appreciate it. It took a lot of time. I honestly worked on it for probably over a month, and I intend fully on making more videos more in depth about the inner mechanics of the game and dive into the ruins, the talents, each individual gauntlet, and how they interact with each other. So if you're interested, if you want to check it out, you want to support me, whatever the deal is, I appreciate it. And if you made it this far, I just appreciate it even more. Well, I hope y'all stay well, and I'll see y'all next time.